Why am I not happy even after having the job, relationship, house, car, everything I once wanted? Have you ever felt like that? I did, not once, all the time. Today, I want to share with you my reflections on happiness and 7 things I did to find happiness in everyday life. Have you noticed how our society feeds us a misconception about being happy? We are always told, study well, then you can have fun. Get a job, get married, have children, then life will be awesome. So we subconsciously believe that when I get that next promotion, that house, car, then my life will be good. But happiness is slipping away from our hands because we are just chasing a milestone all the time. When I was doing my graduation, I felt I'll be happy if I move to a big city because the city gives me freedom. I got into my dream institute in a big city, but all I could feel there was the stress of the work. I didn't like the research, I wanted to pivot, and I thought I'll be happy if I start doing something I love. I started my own coaching business. It made me happier comparatively, but I was constantly worrying about the ups and downs in my business. I was not feeling good when I was not getting clients. It felt like I'm never enjoying the present moment, but chasing something in the future, hoping that I'll be happy in the future. Once I realized this, I started looking for ways to be happy in the present moment, in the here and now. So these are 7 things I did to become happier in everyday life. Finding meaning in work. We spend at least 8 to 10 hours of our day at work. If you don't enjoy your work, if you don't find it purposeful, it's hard to be happy. A study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies said when participants in a study felt a greater sense of purpose, they tended to feel more positive emotions, specifically contentment, relaxation, enthusiasm, and joy. And they felt less angry, anxious, sluggish, or sad. In my PhD, I didn't enjoy research, so I tried different things to find something that's meaningful to me. I tried some freelancing and side hustles, and finally, I found my passion in coaching. If you asked me to rate my happiness back then when I was not liking my work versus now when I love my work, I would say back then it was 4 out of 10 and now it's 7 out of 10. So it does make a difference. If you don't like your work, try to get a job that's meaningful to you. I'm not saying quit your job overnight, but try to find a side hustle that you feel connected to. Maybe it's some form of art, maybe teaching the neighborhood kids or charity work, anything that keeps you focused, engaged, and it makes you enthusiastic and happy. Finding little things to look forward to and savoring them. There is this beautiful quote by Dan Millman: life is a series of moments. The quality of attention and action that we bring to each moment determines the quality of our lives. How true, right? Every day is made of so many moments, and most of them are repeated. Same cooking, same work, same relationships. So life can start feeling monotonous. We need to actively find little moments to look forward to and savor them. What is this savoring? In this course called Science of Wellbeing by Yale University, there is a concept of savoring which I found really helpful. It's very simple. Find a few little moments in your day. Maybe it's sipping your coffee in the morning, the cool breeze on your face when you're traveling to work, that chit chat at the end of the day with your family, and be fully present in that moment. Feel that moment with your 5 senses. Smell the coffee, taste the coffee, feel that breeze on your skin. Just observe how does it feel on your body and start feeling grateful that you have it. Start thinking how amazing it is to have this partner, to have the family, this cool breeze, the clean air or the nature. And to make it more interesting, you can share this with your partner or friends and do it as a group activity. Me and my husband used to do this. We would ask each other, what did you savor today? And we had to savor 1 or 2 moments every day and share that with each other. Training my mind to be in the present moment. The major reason we are not happy is that we are always either thinking about the past or worrying about the future. We are never in the present moment. All the philosophers, book, the ancient wisdom, everything says that being in the present moment is the only way to be happy. Simplest way to train your mind to be in the present moment is to practice mindfulness and meditation. I started with simple 5-minute mindfulness meditations where you just bring back the focus to breath. According to a study conducted by Stanford University, on an average, we have 60,000 thoughts a day. And these thoughts contribute to all the chaos. So practicing mindfulness and calming your nervous system can really help quieting your mind. By the way, I'm going to go deeper into nervous system and talking a lot more about it in my free masterclass happening on 23rd May at 8 p.m. IST. All the details are in the description and the pinned comment. Check it out. Being in nature more often. Many scientific studies have been supporting the fact that being in nature, even for 5 to 10 minutes, can reduce your stress and anxiety, reduce your cortisol levels, and increase your happiness. So I try to take more walks in nature, just stand in my balcony, watching the sky and hearing the birds. And I have practically observed how my mind quiets down when I step out. Nurturing relationships. What makes human beings happy? To this question, all the studies have pointed in one direction: relationships. We are social animals. Social connections is important to your brain. When you genuinely connect with someone or hug someone, have a heartfelt conversation, it releases oxytocin in your brain, which is a happy chemical. So I'm trying to make more effort in nurturing relationships and friendships. Actually, I'm an introvert. I'm kind of a loner. So if you too are someone who likes spending time alone and you don't have many friends, I get you, okay? Even I have 3, 4 friends. I can count them on my fingers, but I'm quite close with my family. So I try to spend mindful time with my family, genuinely be present with them and listen to them, have deeper conversations. Getting off social media. I cannot stress upon this more. Social media is just messing with our happiness more than ever before. When you're addicted to scrolling, when you're constantly getting that hit of dopamine, you don't feel excited from anything else. You don't pursue meaningful goals. You don't connect with people. And you feel disconnected and lonelier than ever before. Now, I have very strict boundaries with social media and phone, and I'm doing many things to make my real life more interesting than social media. Practicing gratitude. When someone asks you, how is your life? What would you usually say? We usually start thinking about the same stressful work, problems with our partners, every problem that's in our life, right? Because our brains are wired to think about all the negative things, what's not good in life. We have to mindfully, actively find things that are good to be grateful for to increase the happiness. Gratitude might be an over discussed topic, but it is so because it works. I have seen it works like a miracle. I started with jotting down 3 things I'm grateful for, the classic gratitude exercise. But now my mind is so used to it, I naturally feel grateful when I'm going through my day. These are the 7 things I did to become happier in my everyday life. Have you done anything like this, or are you going to try any of this? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you want to learn more about your nervous system, I'm conducting a free masterclass on 23rd May. All the details are in the description. We are going to talk about why your nervous system is keeping you stuck in stress and anxiety. What are the 4 hidden ways your body reacts to stress, and scientifically proved ways to break this trap. Check out the description if you're interested, and I will see you in the next one.